format of the competition on Saturday?
That's on him. I'm not sure yet. We're still kind of discussing, so that'll be a Coach Frost question.
You know what your role will be?
I don't know yet. I mean, usually in game day, especially spring day, it's kind of cheerleader. Just make sure guys are out there playing hard, doing the right thing. Still coaching technique up, but this is their day. This is about them turning loose and having fun out there.
Where do you feel like your guys are at as you go into Saturday?
We've made big jumps, but still a long way to go. Way ahead of year one. I think their knowledge of the defense is way better. The technique they're playing with, they understand that better, why we do certain things. So that's been a big jump. Still have a long way to go, but technique and knowledge of the defense from year one to year two is way better.
Hey Barrett, I know you don't coach him, but is there anything about Adrian's game that's jumped out at you this spring?
Martinez?
Yeah, Martinez.
He honestly is just taking how he finished the season and probably picked up on it. It sounds, it's what is expected of him, but he's a really special player, and I kind of expect him to do really good things, and he's continued to progress where he left off, I think.
Do you guys have enough inside linebackers to be able to divide up with two teams and not having to swap over?
We're going to figure that one out. I don't know yet. Honestly, all that stuff, we're trying to put on the best show we can. If a guy's going to change a jersey at halftime, we'll do that. That's not a big deal. The biggest thing is guys are out there having fun, playing in front of all of our fans, which is, this will be the funnest day of the spring for them. They get to play in front of 91,000, which nobody else in the country can say they do that.
Is there anybody in your room that you think maybe has progressed more than anyone else through the spring and the duration of these 6 weeks or so?
I think Mo's had a really good spring. He's progressed a lot from year one to year two, detailing up his work. I thought Joe Johnson's really progressed a lot year one to year two. Colin, just getting the reps he's getting, same thing. Really big progressions year one to year two. So normally in football, year one to year two is the biggest jump, whether it's high school, college, or the NFL. So we expect the same thing from our defense too.
Did you guys notice that jump in Central Florida more in the spring or in the fall?
A little bit of both. I think we obviously noticed a big-time improvement over the spring. We lacked a little bit of depth during the spring, and we were fortunate during the season that nobody really got hurt. That was a big deal for us. But, it was a similar progression year one to year two.
You guys have had officials in and practices. Do you feel like when they're being used, do you feel like there's a difference in penalties or flags being thrown as opposed to last spring?
Maybe not a difference. I mean, I think whenever the officials are here, you notice when the penalties are called. We as coaches typically notice penalties, even if they're not called during practice, but it's nice for the players to see that reinforced when they do have the officials here.
So you haven't seen much of a discernible difference?
Are you talking about the difference in the way we play when the officials are here or not?
Difference in, I guess, cleanliness.
No, honestly not. I mean, I think what the officials really do is they just reinforce to the players when there is a penalty, when there's not. I mean, we're going to tell guys when there's a penalty, but we also, the way we practice, we don't stop a lot of plays. If a guy, I don't know, if somebody holds, we don't stop practice to detail out why they held. We teach that on film. So the yellow on the ground just reemphasizes that to the players.
What's your thought on the portal? I mean, it just seems like it's really changed the game and transparency.
Yeah, it has. It wasn't that deal when I was coming up, and I think it just makes it just like recruiting is. And even more so, I think the older the recruit is, the more they have to fit into what your players are like, what their culture is, what their personalities are like. Because those guys have played a lot of football and they're going to have some confidence, they're going to have some say. So, you really got to have a good fit personality-wise.
At your spot in the middle, opposite of Barry, is it, like a two-man thing with Miller and Honus at this point, or did they also fit into switching sides with Mo? How do you
I would like my guys to be able to cross-train a little bit, especially if you have three guys who are really ready to play and maybe one guy's a little dinged up, something like that. Because the way it works with our offense, there's going to be games where we got to play 90 snaps on defense, and if one guy continually plays all 90 snaps, you get worn down a little bit. I think we got a little bit worn down last year because of our lack of depth. So whether it's a three-man rotation or platooning them a little bit, I got to make sure guys aren't getting a whole lot more than 75 reps, because all of a sudden you start getting 90 reps every game. That's adding about 2 or 3 games a your season, and it takes a toll on him.
Has Will been able to come back and go at full speed?
Yeah, Will looks really good. I mean, he's not doing any contact right now, but moving around, he's all, he's not wearing a brace. He's not hesitant at all either. So I've been really impressed what I've seen coming off an ACL in October, how well he's moving around right now.
He wasn't someone that you thought was going to be here for 3 years, but now when you kind of look at the big picture, how valuable is it going to be that you get him 2 more years?
Yeah, once again, I think that rule is really beneficial to not only student athletes but coaches as well, that 4-game redshirt rule, because he earned it his 4th game, and now he's going to get another year, which is going to be huge, not only for him but for us too. He's a really good football player, and it would have been a really tough deal for him to, essentially, I don't want to use the term wasted a year, but he didn't get to play the majority of the season. He was hurt in the 4th game, so the fact that he's going to be able to come back and have another year is really, really big.
You mentioned Joey a couple of weeks ago. Is there another walk-on or two that you're going to see rise up, or could at least put themselves in the mix?
I think all those guys still got a little bit of work to do. I think Joe's, from the walk-on end of it, Joe's probably had the best spring in my room, but other guys are coming along too. Chris is learning, but yeah, Joe's done a nice job picking up the defense and improving.
From your perspective, what kind of an impact does Mo have on Barry, have on the entire defense, like not just your position group?
I think he's doing a great job from the leadership perspective. I think he's trying, we train leadership too. We work that in the off season. The program comes in here. He takes that to heart. He's really trying to improve his leadership skills, and he has. He's got a lot of pull on his team, and when one of your better players loves football, that's a big deal. He works as hard as anybody, so he's done a good job from that regard.
I know he's not on your position group, but Darian Daniels, what has he done just to kind of upgrade the front, and how does that help maybe the linebackers having a veteran big body in the middle?
He's a great grad transfer because he's played a lot of football, but he's also got the right mentality. I mean, he loves going to work every day. He's very intelligent, says the right thing, keeps the guys on the right level. He's been a great addition to our team, and he's the type of guy that when you talk about transfers, he's the type of guy we're looking for.
Has he added some personality to that defensive line?
Sure,
from your view?
Yeah, because when you're a veteran guy who's played a lot of football and maybe has seen things done a different way, and he's got a high level of intelligence, he's been a really good addition, not only the D-line room, but the whole defense.